Hi everybody, Meta here with another video of me going through my favorites list on fanfiction.net, sorted by publication date, starting with the oldest and moving on up. I got 10 stories for you today, so let's just go through these really quickly. We have Naruto Arashiodori by Lucifer-Allheart, and so this one, at least in the beginning, is a pretty standard retelling of canon, starting at the Chuunin exam finals. There's a couple bits that are new, like an attempted kidnapping by the guy who replaces Zabuza, the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, after the invasion and stuff, but I really got bored with this story, and I got about 25 chapters in, so yeah, I didn't finish it. Most of it is like just standard canon with like a slight difference. The main change being right at the beginning, where like the invasion takes longer to start and Naruto fights Gaara just in the stadium first. And it's kind of weird because like the Sasuke fight happens and Kakashi goes and saves Sasuke from being killed, but then afterwards Gaara like threatens Naruto. Naruto's clearly scared and everything, and he then puts like Sakura and Hinata in a dangerous situation where they will die in like 5 minutes if he doesn't fight, and nobody does shit. They're just like, oh no, believe in Naruto, and you know, he needs this motivation to do it. And I kind of get it, that the intent is, oh yeah, okay, this is his moment where he becomes a badass and he shows the strength and all that. But the way it was done, it just made it feel like, okay, Sasuke is important, so we have to save Sasuke, and like he must be rescued. But the others, who cares if they're in danger? Like they gotta fight. And like it happens again later on when that Zabuza person comes back. Again, all the people show up and then they just sit there and wait while Naruto fights and gets his ass handed to him, when they should be protecting, you know, freaking Konohamaru, like the third Hokage's grandson, and a whole bunch of other big names, and like, nope, they don't care. Just gotta make Naruto get his moment, I guess. It felt really weird and it didn't feel good to me. Yeah, it just did not work. Another thing this pointed out, it's probably come from a bunch of stories before, but so this is a lot of text, like, again, and I used to, long before, it used to be like, okay, if there's a lot of words, then it must be good. A lot of times I would just search and be like, oh, this guy obviously wrote like 300,000 words, he must have had something to say, and it must be pretty good. And then I've now, especially now that I'm going back and realizing, it's like, bad writers can write a lot too. And yeah, just having a lot doesn't mean anything, and that's what this is. This is just a lot of bad and bland writing that I just did not care about. So yeah, it is off my list. Alright, next is The Great Landscaping Crisis by MogtheGnome. So this is basically a think piece on why Naruto doesn't know the exploding clone jutsu for most of canon, and yeah, it's really funny because it again plays in. This is back when Naruto was still like, you know, just super dumb and incompetent. Because remember, this is still 2007, before most of Shippuden happened and everything, and before he became like super competent. This is just him being batshit crazy, and yeah, I love this, and the Akatsuki members especially are like the main characters in this comedic piece, and they are all hilarious. I love this, it's super funny, and it stays on my list. Alright. Next is Hermione the Harem Girl by Rorschach's Blot. And as I've said again and again, I love Rorschach's Blot. And this one's even better because it's actually 2 stories in one. There's the first story, which is about Hermione just trying to build Harry a harem because her dream is to be in a harem. And then there's the other story at the bottom that it's like listed in under omakes, but it comes in at every single chapter and completes its own story arc, which is also in a completely different world. I don't know why they're connected, but hey, two great tastes for the price of one, you know. But it's about summer internships where Harry jumps from one summer internship to the next and basically gets rid of all his enemies that way, which is really fun. There's a couple other extra omakes as well that are there just for more flavor, but yeah, these are two great stories that I really enjoyed and super fun, and yeah, they stay on my list. Another Rorschach's Blot story next is Pen Pals, which is again really short, really funny bit where just Harry and Voldemort trade letters to each other with a really stupid Voldemort that is just oh, it's ridiculous how dumb he is and stuff, and it just makes it so much fun to see his incompetency benefit Harry. So I love it, and yeah, it stays on my list. Alright. The next two are both from Disobedience Writer. And we'll start with, we'll go one at a time. The first one is A Bad Week at the Wizengamot, which is basically like the Supreme Court of the Wizarding World, I guess, something like that. But at the start of the fifth book, Harry gets banished from England by them during that trial for about the underage sorcery, and then bad things keep happening. Where like each chapter is about like the first chapter is all about all the Wizengamot people who voted him out. Like basically their loans get called in, the government can't function, all this, and they're basically made pariahs in the larger world. Second one is about Sirius Black becoming minister and fixing up the government and getting competent people in charge and getting laws passed and things like that. And then the third one is about Minister Fudge's incompetent attempts at being a Dark Lord. It's all like a low-key kind of funny where, you know, there's no huge moments, just a couple small chuckles here and there, and really good bit of Schadenfreude, just seeing, you know, bad shit happen to these people who are annoying and incompetent. It's okay, but nothing really big, so yeah, it's gonna slide right off my list. And the second one, Everything Has Its Cost, again, like I said, by Disobedience Writer. He states in this he actually came up with the idea for this around the same time he wrote the first chapter of the first story, and it's again like takes place after the fifth book, and it's basically just a piece of Schadenfreude where Fudge gets punished for all the shit that he pulled with trying to take over the school during Order of the Phoenix. And there's not even much humor here. It's just seeing him, Percy Weasley, and Umbridge getting punished for their actions. And yeah, I just was not super interested in this. If you just want a piece of Schadenfreude, go for it. But yeah, it's gonna slide off my list as well. Next we go back to Naruto with Misadventures of the Mentally Insane by Son of the Morning. So this one is just basically the QB chakra makes Naruto crazy, and then this is just 5 chapters of random stupidity where like he doesn't know what's going on and just stupid shit happening after stupid shit. Whole bunch of OCs that form like his teammates and stuff like that. They're okay enough. Like they make good comic foils, and they get good back and forth between them. But this is basically just a read it once, get a few laughs, and then you never have to think about this again. So yeah, it's off my list. Next is back to MogtheGnome with The Imprint. So this one is really great. Like I love this. It's Itachi, as he's committing the Uchiha massacre, decides he needs a backup plan in case Sasuke is not enough to challenge him. And so brainwashes Naruto to act like him, which leads Naruto then just thinking he's now Itachi and like going around training and like acting like his old life was a cover, and then training by using his Sharingan, which is basically just the QB chakra, and sucking people into his eyes to meet the QB, and the QB just tortures him with the worst tortures known to mankind. like being able to fill out demonic taxes forms or completing ET for the Atari 2600. Like it is so much fun seeing just QB especially and his like tortures that he puts through in his interactions with the people that slide into his cell. They're fantastic. The all the other people in Konoha and their reactions and terror of Naruto are really funny to see. Haku actually becomes a really funny bit as well. And like, especially since even the writer just keeps flopping back and forth whether he's a he or a she, even though like at one point they rip off his shirt to see. And it's like it's fun. I enjoyed it. I literally could not stop smiling as I was reading the story. And yeah, so that it's great for a laugh, and it definitely stays on my list. Next, okay, back to Harry Potter again, with another one by Disobedience Writer, Interview with the Slytherin Child. And basically, this one is Harry gets raised as a snake, and thinks as snakes do in like cunning ways and stuff, and then ends up taking over Hogwarts and all of Britain before he's 12 years old. And the presentation of this story is really dry. Like a lot of it happened already, because it starts when he takes over Hogwarts, and as such, all of the setup and the backstory we find out through the narrative device of like him asking Rita Skeeter for like an autobiography interview. And so it's just a lot of like, hey, this happened and then this happened, and it's like a lot of those would have been interesting to see, but also I mean it's okay, it just is kind of dry. There's also a lot of big like spectacle actions that seemingly just take place in like one sentence or two, and the reaction to those is also just one sentence. Like hell, at one point he turns the River Thames into blood and all that stuff, and it's literally just told a bunch of his men turned the River Thames into blood bit by bit, and then a whole bunch of refuse was there and people were shocked and appalled, and that's it. And yeah, that's it. It's weird, but also the more I read, the more I kept getting interested. Like at least it's not the presentation, because like I said, the presentation is dry and it's not the best, but the tactics, the ideas that Harry uses, and also the lore bits that the writer has put up about the Horcruxes and the other, and like the idea of how Harry learns magic were all interesting enough that they transcended the dry presentation and made me still really like this one. So if you like cunning, sneaky Harry that's all about being super Slytherin, this one will be for you. And I gotta say, the tactics and everything kept it for me, so this stays on my list. And finally, the last one comes back to Naruto, is the Magic Lamp by Angles of Death. And this is a very short one-shot, like cute, sickeningly sweet one-shot, where a 6-year-old Naruto finds a magic lamp with the genie inside and gets 3 wishes, and he basically just wishes for a lot of ramen and a friend. And he explained, like the genie's like, why are you doing this? And he wishes like, oh, ramen, everybody hates me and stuff, and ramen's the only thing that brings me joy, so that's all I like. And yeah, it gets you in it'll get you in the feels a little, but it doesn't leave a huge impact. I still remember other stories that I've read that are way more impactful and sad in that sense. Not like I said, this is it'll hit, but then the pain will fade really quickly. It's not something that stays in memory for long. So yeah, this wish is gonna fall off my list. And there we have it. 10 more stories. Like I said, this was because I was sick the last 2 weeks, so I didn't want to make the videos. That's why this one's coming out basically the day after the previous one. And next one will probably be again a week. Next one will be a while off from now, because I haven't started reading the next story even yet, and it's a long one. But yeah, so if you want to keep track, it's been I've read 146 stories now out of the 1,200 plus that were on my list originally, and 85 have stayed on my list, which is more than I thought. But I'm surprised I'm batting at around like I'm getting close to 50%. So yeah, it's weird, but there we go. So then, thanks everybody, and I will catch you all next time. Bye.